Good morning. Yeah. Oh. There's a few books that anybody wanting to understand evolution should probably read. The first of these is Almost Like a Whale by Steve Jones. It's a very well-written book. It explains A, what Darwin got right, and B, what Darwin got wrong. And it points out that everything in evolutionary biology works together. It fits. It makes sense, and that's important. It explains it clearly and coherently. It explains Darwin's Origin of Species in a way that a modern reader with a short attention span can digest. Because, let's face it, Darwin was writing in the 1850s for an audience in the 1850s who didn't have a whole lot of distractions. And so Jones, writing in the 1990s, simplified it, clarified it, made it more digestible for the modern consumer. Because, let's face it, Darwin wrote heavily and ponderously. Far too much prose. It was tedious and exhausting to read. So there is that. So Steve Jones, Almost Like a Whale. Sometimes subtitled for American consumption, Darwin's Ghost. Very good book. You should definitely read that if you want to understand evolutionary biology. Another book, Carl Zimmer, At the Water's Edge, talks about the evolution of life at sea and life on land. And yet another, I've mentioned this repeatedly, Neil Shubin's Your Inner Fish. These are books anybody wanting to understand evolutionary biology should read. These three books, readily available at any public library, are very good books if you want to understand. Now, of course, if you don't want to understand, then by all means, don't read them. And there are plenty of creationist quote mine sites where you can get quote mines of things that Darwin said, ripped out of context and given totally different meanings. You can do that. But you won't be learning. Whereas these books, which have all been written less than 100 years ago, are a modern explanation of evolutionary biology. They're well written. Easy to digest. No, that doesn't mean eat them, okay? Read them. Read them. Read them. And for those creationists who refuse to read them, please refrain from trying to tell me what they're about until you've actually read them. Thank you. Oh, and if anybody's heard the whereabouts of AV 1611 Vat, nope. Yeah. Let me know. I'm concerned about him. Last time I heard from him, he was raving hysterically and was apparently having some problems with local authorities in Guam due to some bad behavior on his part. And, like it or not, I'm concerned about the poor bastard. So yeah, if anybody knows where AV1611 Vet is, and that's his internet name everywhere, let me know, because I am concerned for his well-being despite all of the horrible things that he's said and done. I'm not sure why. I just kind of feel sorry for the poor guy.